It is not common for a cartoon that is meant for kids to show us his main character destroyed and drowning in his pain with barely any hope to keep going. But what makes this episode so great is that throughout your own life, you will be no stranger to how heartbroken Mordecai feels, and how you will have to learn the painful but important lesson Mordecai learns at the end of the episode. The episode starts repeating again and again the tragic moment where the blue bird is sent into a deep hole of depression, misery, and if this wasn't Cartoon Network, alcoholism as well. But to better understand this episode, we have to take a look at the previous episode, which is also the last of the season 4, titled Stake Me Amadeus. This one starts on a high note, with Mordecai and Margaret finally being a couple, enjoying many special moments together. Oh boy, they looked so cute and happy. Hopefully nothing will break this amazing relationship. Then we see Mordecai a bit nervous about making the thing official. And he will do it tonight when he takes her out for an expensive dinner, and what could possibly go wrong? It's already afternoon, and when Mordecai heads out to the restaurant full of swag, Margaret calls and tells him she's gonna be a bit late, but it's fine cause they will meet at the restaurant. So Mordecai arrives and asks for his reservation. He will pay with Amadeus cash he got from Pops. However, when they hear that, suddenly he's tackled by the FBI, because this is a regular show and something weird has to happen. Inside the interrogation room, the whole gang is locked up, big suspects of a money printing scheme. Pops quickly feels the pressure and confesses before his pants turn brown. He says someone sells him the cash for half the price, and also Mordecai begs to let him enjoy this big moment in a man's life. And one of the detectives, being a real bro, understands. So they agree to let them go if they can break the delinquent behind this scam. They install a lot of hidden microphones and give the blue bird a better outfit to go and get the girl of his wet dreams. Now looking all sexy, I'm pretty sure he's going to secure the baddie. They sit together, compliment each other. They are nervous, and they both have something to say to each other, something important. However, that will have to wait, because the suspect has already arrived, and they have to make the deal with him. This whole situation seems like they're buying drugs, and it really gives the sensation that the boys have done this before. Very suspicious. Margaret goes to Mordecai, and everything goes out of control, with bullets flying everywhere, because this is a regular show episode. In the middle of the chaos, the two lovebirds decide to tell each other the things they have to say, because what better time than on the literal battlefield. Mordecai finally asks her to be his girlfriend, and she says that she finally feels like she could be in a relationship that could actually go somewhere. However, she's accepted into her dream school, so while crying she proceeds to flee the scene, leaving Mordecai heartbroken. Thankfully, the chef resolves the shooting problem with a bazooka.
I didn't go to school, and look at me!
Later, we see Mordecai on the roof, pondering about her love and watching the sunset. Rigby approaches him with some sodas to bring some of that emotional support to his bro that he definitely needs at this sad moment. And this is how we are now to the episode in question, Laundry Woes, placing us time and time again in the moment that marks everything that was and everything that could have been between Mordecai and Margaret. It is interesting how in his memory, Mordecai does not recall the details of the setting, like, there was a chef with a bazooka, although it is kinda understandable because they live weird shit like that every business day. But he does not cling to the happy moments, but to the coldness of Margaret's words, her suddenly and abruptly escape of the restaurant, and also from his life. In his mind, the world has shrunk to an absence impossible to ignore. His thoughts are consumed by the woman he loved for so long, and when it seemed things will finally work out, everything went crashing down, without him truly having that long-awaited love. From here we see a broken Mordecai with a deteriorated appearance, and surely stinking. His pain is reflected not only by his defeated expression, but in his lack of energy and his inability to move forward. His daily activities continue, but he is no longer present in them. His grief is evident, destroyed inside and out, and the show emphasizes this by depicting him at his lowest point. And yet, amidst this silent suffering, a crucial force keeps him from sinking entirely. Alcoholism. Nah, I'm just kidding. I mean, his friends. Thankfully, Mordecai is surrounded by real ones that are there to show some support and empathy. They refuse to let him be lost in his own torment, because more than being his weird and smelly co-workers, they are his family. They do not force him to talk, nor they attempt to minimize his pain. They simply stand by him, offering their presence. Skips, in particular, in a gesture full of meaning that speaks volumes. Because if you remember, Skips in his own way, and many centuries ago, was in the same position as the Bluebird, only he with Mona. Though his loss was permanent, unlike Margaret. Because come on now, we all know if your girl goes to college, she's no longer your little princess. But still, at that moment, the show reminds us that the pain of losing someone, neutralizing that future once planned, only leaving memories, that shared grief is universal. This moment has a great weight not only in the character of Skips, but also the show's storytelling and making his characters very human. Thanks to his friends, Mordecai slowly begins to climb out the hole that he fell into. He appears more animated, regaining his essence. For a moment, we finally believe he has moved on from Margaret. But reality is more complicated. While everything seemed to be going well, he's doing laundry. The thing is, he finds Margaret's sweater. Rigby, upon noticing, immediately recognizes what it represents. It is not just a piece of clothing, it is an emotional trap. And yet, despite knowing this, Mordecai cannot help himself, and like an alcoholic man with shivers, he clutches it and succumbs to the familiar essence. And in doing so, he lets the past consume him once more, and memories flood him. This moment is devastating in its symbolism. It highlights a painful truth. Moving on is not a straight path. Sometimes all it takes is a single reminder, a song, a scent, a place, to send us spiraling back into old wounds. Mordecai never truly let go of Margaret. He only buried the pain beneath the surface. And now, with this sweater in his hands, he sees an opportunity, a reason, an excuse to reach out. At first, it's just a simple thought, returning the sweater, and what starts as a simple mail delivery turns into an impulsive 20-hour journey with the intent of giving it to her in person. Wow. Fingers crossed he finds her studying and not doing, let's say, extracurricular activities. It's obvious this is no longer about the sweater. It is about a pathetic man clinging into a past that no longer exists. And I know about this because I myself have been that pathetic man. Rigby, of all people, represents the voice of reason. He tries time and time again to get rid of the sweater for him, but it always finds its way back. A really good metaphor, just like the unresolved emotions Mordecai refuses to face, and how they always keep coming back. And so that's when Mordecai asks Muscle Man for his awesome and clean car that for sure would make Margaret quit school and go back with him. Oh boy, such a bulletproof plan.
Take your laundry out of it this time, bro. Unlike some people, I like keeping my things nice.
Rigby knows this trip is nothing more than a way to prolong unnecessary suffering. But what makes Rigby the MVP is that despite Mordecai's stubborn and defensive attitude, he never abandons him. Again, Rigby tries to get rid of the damn thing, but a police officer caught the sweater and gave it back to the boys. Oh yeah, cops, they are always there when you need them the least. Mordecai thinks this is a sign. This is fate, and he's manifesting and all that delusional nonsense. But as we know, this sweater is the embodiment of unresolved grief. It represents how memory, when left unprocessed, continue to haunt us no matter how much we try to outrun them. The turning point would be when the Bluebird would finally confront his feelings instead of avoiding them. So the 20+ hour long train continues, and he, consumed by his own obsession, falls asleep at the wheel, almost close to meeting St. Peter, illustrating how fucking down bad Mordecai is. This obsession with the past is destroying him, and Rigby confronts him, forcing him to face reality, and telling him to get over that cooch, spitting undeniable facts that even an idiot like Rigby can clearly see. Mordecai's self-destructive behavior was never about Margaret. It was about his inability to move forward. This makes Mordecai understand. Nah, just kidding. He keeps him out of the car in the middle of the road. Because if he was a good friend, he'll understand. The episode reaches its breaking point, where the sweater comes to life. Surely because Mordecai left a lot of his parents. The sweater transforms into a monstrous force that tries to drag the blue bear back to the past. And this is where the show reaches its peak in metaphorical storytelling. The monster is not just a physical entity. Sleep-deprived and emotionally vulnerable, Mordecai creates this creature in his mind, reflecting the pool of memories we refuse to go. The sweater coming to life represents how when we continue to feed the pain, it can reach to an external force beyond our control. When Mordecai finally crashes and the monstrous force dissolves, it marks the final confrontation. After a moment of clarity, he finally understands that it's not that Rigby wasn't supporting him. Bro, he wanted the best for his bro, and leaving a raccoon in the middle of the road wasn't the bestie move.
Dude, how do you feel?
But more importantly, he realizes that his acts aren't taking him anywhere. And no matter how much it hurts, once and for all, let her go. Now he understands that his clinging only brought him pain, and it's preventing him from being himself. Seeing Margaret with her new life is a clash with reality. So in a moment of profound growth, he makes the hardest choice. He lets her go by throwing the sweater into the trash can. Rigby shows up, and thankfully he's not dead. Otherwise it would have been an awkward funeral. And showing that he's already turned the page in his life, he apologizes for the minor murder attempt. Throughout the episode, the sweater not only symbolizes his attachment to Margaret, but also his resistance to accept that stage of his life has ended. This attachment keeps him emotionally stagnant and somehow prevents him from facing the pain of the breakup and really moving forward. So Mordecai throwing the sweater into the trash is not a simple action. It is a choice to stop living in a world of what ifs and start moving toward the life that still awaits him. The new experiences and relationships, it is an acknowledgement that healing is not about forgetting, but about accepting that some people are meant to be part of our past, not our future. And we also have to notice how his friend stood by him even when the stupid idiot couldn't see it. What makes this episode so powerful is that it doesn't offer an easy resolution. Healing is not immediate, and pain does not disappear overnight. But what matters is that Mordecai chooses to move forward. And that, more than anything, is what makes this journey resonate so deeply. Thanks for watching.